no matter where we went, we had houseboys, and you have the Korean working for you, but you don't know if they're working for you or are spotters. They could be spotters, telling the enemy where we are. You know, we had a guy come in to the outfit. We always had people coming in, Koreans, and sometimes your houseboys would have visitors. This one guy was in one day, and he was down by the motor pool lifting cans of gas, fuel oil or gas or whatever. And he finally found one that he could lift because it wasn't full. I mean, a full can of gas would probably weigh 300 or 400 pounds or 55 gallons, you know. Anyway, to make a long story short, he got this gas can on his A-frame and over his back, and started walking out of the outfit with it, and no one knew him. So the old man, Captain DeSalvo, he knew that I always had tracers in my rifle, so he said, "Can I borrow your rifle?" So the guy got out probably 200 feet, and he shot him in the gas can and blew him all to pieces. And when we went out, and the old man says, the guy was laying there, just a pile of burning whatever. He said, when that goes out, referring to the dead Korean, he says, bury it. And so we moved again because they hit us again. And next time we moved, we we got some tents, and we had a guy by the name of Perkins. We call him Perkins Bulldozer, and he used to do all the work for us. You know, he was cutting a place in from my area, and right where he was, this was pretty cold, and where he was cutting in, he cut. It was 4 or 5. I don't know if they were Chinese or whatever, but they were dead, and they were just buried under a couple of feet of dirt. He hit them with a bulldozer and cut them right in half, you know. So then we had to call Graves Registration and get them out. And I often thought, maybe that could be me, you know. And then Edwards, a friend of mine, we were on a post, guard post. These are all different situations, you know. And we got, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 Koreans. I think they were Chinese, I don't know. But they came along a ridge, and they saw us, and we saw them. And I remember from experience at West Point, the instructors down there told you, listen, don't go looking for trouble. Because the guys, if they're only a squad, they probably don't want to fight with you either, you know, so nobody looks for trouble. Well, these guys came over, and they saw us, and we saw them. They didn't know that we had a .50 caliber machine gun, which is a pretty powerful weapon. Anyway, Edwards with me, he shot at them with his carbine, and they shot at us with a lot heavier weapons than we had, you know, except for the .50. So we opened up on them with the .50, and they disappeared. And so we figured, you know, that's it. They just took off. We called the captain, sent up a couple of squads just in case we need help. Anyway, the next spring, we went back to that area, up on the hill, and there they are. All 6 of them are all shot to pieces. The guys that we had encountered, so they didn't get very far, you know. But that's the way it was. We got back to the port of Seattle, and we had about 3,000 people on the. We came back on the U.S. Gordon II, the same ship we went over on. So we got off the ship, and it was probably 30 or 40 buses there, like school buses, because they were all going to take us to Fort Lewis, and we're all in a bus. You got to picture this. There's a line of buses, 40 or 50 buses, and here comes the Red Cross. and they got coffee and donuts, right? You got to picture everybody's arm is out the window reaching for coffee and donuts. This one girl with a Red Cross hat and a Red Cross armband on has 1 cup of coffee and 1 donut. And that sounds good. That's what we're going to have, right? So she just held it up to one of the windows just out of the reach of the hands of the guy. Her photographer took a picture, and that's all we got. Nobody got anything.